And welcome again to the big match. And today we look at the plight of West Ham United in one of the most enthralling matches that they've played all season. A match in which they again decided to do without the services of their England skipper Bobby Moore here amidst the photographers. He simply had a watching brief as his teammates tackle the league leaders, Leeds United.
Now Brookie, will he get a shot in? Oh, down goes straight to save well.
Also today, Ipswich against Derby.
In comes Clark. Now McMills.
And N.Forest against Newcastle.
And that's Moore. Oh, what a beautifully controlled Ian Moore.
And in that Forest game, another Moore, Ian Moore, scores twice to help lift his side towards safety. But what about West Ham? Today we get strong views on them, both from Jimmy Hill and from Jack Charlton. And we should be looking at some of your letters as well. But first of all, let's get on with the action at Upton Park yesterday. West Ham against Leeds, and what a task it's going to be for this reshuffled West Ham side, so recently demoralised by the events in Blackpool. Well, today they have a new captain, and it's N.Forest, who should lift their spirits somewhat by coming back into the side after a month out with a painful back injury. So the side is still without Bobby Moore and Jimmy Greaves, and now there's a further blow when goalkeeper Bobby Ferguson is ruled out with a finger injury. Peter Grotier takes his place. Hurst and his men, of course, are fully aware of the power of Leeds, even though Leeds come to London today without their skipper Billy Bremner. Mick Bates takes his place at number 4, as he did recently against Crystal Palace. But there's menace in attack here, and of course we know there's great depth in defence as well. And it's all adding up now to a wonderful match, a match in fact that has drawn a crowd of 34,000 waiting for referee Vernon Batty of Cheshire to signal the start.
So Leeds kick off, all in white with red stockings, and West Ham know that this is where their recovery must begin. In front of their own big crowd, and probably against the best team in the country. And a West Ham team, of course, without Bobby Moore in a watching role there today. Now Leeds with Cooper. Lindsay shadowing him, but Cooper so difficult to shake off. Giles, the skipper for today. And McDowell away into touch for West Ham. Leeds, who have something of a jinx on West Ham. 10 league games these two have played, the last 10 league games, and West Ham haven't won one of them. Hunter. Although certainly one of my great memories of Upton Park is some 4 years ago when Leeds came here and were beaten 7-0 in the League Cup. West Ham playing that night probably as well as ever they played. Eustace finding Hurst, and Hurst finding Charlton is right beside him, beating Charlton but not Madeley. Paul Reaney, who broke his leg in this corresponding match last season, which cost Reaney not only a cup final place but a place at Wembley in Mexico as well. Eustace. Paul Reaney, it really was a tragic night here at Upton Park when he broke that leg. Hurst and Brooking. And Redknapp and a Hurst away. And Hunter putting it back to Gerry Sprake. And certainly the battle within the battle today is going to be between these two England players, Jack Charlton and N.Forest. And Brooking. Bates winning that one well in the air for Leeds. Giles now. Completely outpacing Lindsay with Clark on the far side. Now Lorimer. Brooking and Cooper. Lorimer to Clark. And now for Reaney. There seems to be so much space for Leeds as they come forward. Bates trying to turn it off for Madeley. And now it's with Lindsay. West Ham passing really is by no means up to standard. They really can't break Leeds United at the moment. Here's Giles again for Leeds, and Clark with a header! And Grotier must just have got a fingertip to it. And the crowd stupidly coming on. Those boys really ought to get off and should know better. Good header there by Clark, dipping his head low. So a fine reaction saved by Grotier, and here's the corner from it. McDowell getting it away, but not too far, into touch. Cooper. Clark. And Jack Charlton still right up there. And Bobby Howe getting it away. Hunter and Reaney. Howe. A little on the slow side, but finding Lampard. And Bonds to Grotier. Jack Charlton winning that one in the air perfectly fairly. Brooking and Lorimer having a tangle there, and it'll come to Lampard. Howe and Lindsay. Redknapp and Cooper doing a bit of work there for Leeds, and Lindsay a poor pass. You get the impression, perhaps particularly with young Jimmy Lindsay, that perhaps the enthusiasm of the crowd is spilling onto the pitch so far as West Ham's concerned. Just a little too frantic at the moment. Well, the ball couldn't have gone outside the penalty area. So Sprake to take it again. Brooking to Hurst. And Brooking again. Giles in very quickly on Brooking. It's Hurst and play on, says the referee. Now Brooking, will he get a shot in? Oh, down goes Sprake to save well. And that really was a bit more like the old West Ham. Brooking. I suppose in skill and thought, probably the first genuine look that we've had of the West Ham side so far in this game. Thanks to Trevor Brooking, a good combination there with Jeff Hurst. So free kick to Leeds United now on the far side, and Hunter. But the referee not happy about something in the taking of that free kick. Probably that Leeds United was stealing a couple of yards too many. Well, if they were, I would have thought, with respect from that situation, it wouldn't have made too much difference, and certainly any advantage that was intended for Leeds United is lost now. West Ham should be alive to everything in defence. Charlton with it. Taylor winning it in the air. Madeley. And Bates. And Taylor this time high into the stand. Certainly in defence, West Ham are taking no chances whatsoever. They know they can't afford to be a little too clever. And safety first is, I suppose, the code of conduct out there. There's a good cross there from Hunter, and Jones going for it. And McDowell straining himself to get it away, but only as far as a corner. And John McDowell, right in front of his goalkeeper, had to get up really high to avoid that flicking off his head and behind Grotier. Lorimer, he'll play it wide again for Giles to drive it, and there it is from Johnny Giles. There may have been the slightest deflection there in that West Ham defence, but no doubts at all that Johnny Giles powered one in there, following that corner to put Leeds United into the lead with 32 minutes gone. So now McDowell. And now the task gets even more difficult for West Ham, because bad enough at any time when you're playing Leeds, when you're playing Leeds and they go ahead, they are so difficult to dislodge. But here's Lindsay, Brooking, played through again, and there were all of 6 or 7 white shirts right back in that penalty area. Goal kick to West Ham. Mick Jones, in fact, has gone quite a while without scoring as well. I think it's since November the 4th, in fact, since Mick Jones last scored. Grotier then with the goal kick for West Ham. Now Cooper cutting that one out well, and Brooking in hard on him, but it fell nicely for Leeds United, and Madeley to Giles. He's got Reaney completely free on the outside here. Here's Paul Reaney. Good acceleration again Reaney's got, but not quite enough there to beat Bobby Howe. If he hadn't broken his leg here last season, he really would have been challenging for a first-team place in the England side in Mexico, Paul Reaney. Well, there goes the whistle for half-time, a highly satisfactory one so far as Leeds United are concerned. It's goal ahead, scored by Johnny Giles, who's given a majestic display in midfield for Leeds. The real difference between the two sides has been there in the middle of the field. So West Ham really got to struggle in the second half, still to come on the big match. Highlights of Nottingham Forest against Newcastle, Ipswich against Derby County, the half-time score here at Upton Park. West Ham 0, Leeds United 1. We shall be back with more soccer for you in just a couple of minutes. So West Ham then get us away at the start of the second half. A sad fact behind them, not only a goal down here, but they've lost their last 4 games, and in fact have only won 2 here in the league this season, against Burnley and against Blackpool, 2 fellow strugglers in the First Division. Well, the referee unhappy about something there that Lampard and Lorimer were up to something there. Way off the ball, and Vernon Batty saw something that a lot of other people didn't see, obviously. So it's a throw now then. Oh no, he's wanting a free kick. He's wanting a free kick to Leeds United. So obviously whatever it was on that far side of the field, it was something that Lampard did to Lorimer. So an unexpected free kick there for Leeds United, and Jack Charlton to take it. Madeley's gone plunging into that West Ham penalty area as well. Clark is right up there, and Taylor getting a foot to it to put it behind for the corner. Tommy Taylor, formerly with the Orient. Centre half with a real future, we seem to think here at West Ham at any rate. And there's Eustace coming right back to help his defence. And now Lindsay, who found so little going right for him in the first half, and now finding Brooking. And Hurst to go for this one, and Cooper looks as though he might get there first. And good, cool defensive play by Terry Cooper. Now it's Clark. Giles, the real hero for Leeds United so far, but not with that sort of passing. Redknapp. Brooking was waiting for it, and Clark came in while he waited. Giles once more. Cooper. Madeley, just look at that space ahead of Madeley. But way off the target there by Paul Madeley. One of these magnificent utility players that every club likes to have. He can play in almost any position without really noticing the difference. McDowell. And Cooper winning that one in the air. Lindsay hitting Redknapp while he was still down. McDowell going for it, and Hunter. And McDowell, I think, just lifting his head just a little bit at the end there, and not able to push it wide of Hunter. So it's Leeds United's throw. Cooper and Sprague. Madeley, and Taylor getting his head to that one nicely above Mick Jones. Lindsay finding Brooking. Good aggressive running here by Trevor Brooking, and he's going on, and he tried in the end to find Redknapp and couldn't quite make it, and again good cool defence by Cooper. He really has made that England number 3 position his own, Terry Cooper now. Giles. And Clark, in fact, flicking at that with his head, and if he had connected, it might have made it very difficult indeed for Grotier. Hunter never taking his eye off that ball as Redknapp came towards him. And Howe putting it straight to Madeley again. Cooper to Hunter. McDowell. Redknapp turned that in nicely with his head to Bobby Howe. Redknapp again. McDowell's gone up as well. Still Redknapp, but straight there for Jack Charlton. Giles there putting it for Brooking. Ducking low to get ahead to it, and Jack Charlton finally taking no chances whatsoever. High into touch. Lampard and Hurst. Well, using his body there to good advantage for West Ham, and Eustace right up there, and Cooper and Redknapp. Oh, in on the blind side of Cooper without seeing it, and Jack Charlton is giving his defence a fair bit of stick there. I think he's saying to Sprake that you've got to call for it, and certainly Sprake was rooted to his line, and Cooper had no idea. There's Sprake's version of it. And there's a fair old ding-dong going between Sprake and Jack Charlton at this moment. Cooper completely unaware that Redknapp was coming in so fast on the blind side. That could so easily have been the equaliser for West Ham. Jones doing well, holding it until he could find somebody. But Brooking now for West Ham to Redknapp. That's a good little run there, but I don't think it'll worry Sprake too much over that bar and behind. Oh, and he's given a corner, and Sprake is angry about it. Sprake is really furious, and so is Jack Charlton. They say it went straight across, and the referee says that Sprake put it over. And so the corner given to West Ham. The linesman already positioned for it. Here comes the corner, and Taylor going in, and Sprake holding it. And a foul given against West Ham in any case. But Jack Charlton's not going to let him get away with it as easily as that. Now Jack Charlton. Bates. Played nicely there for Madeley. Bates again. And Madeley. And a throw given to Leeds. And taken quickly and well to find Bates. And now for Clark. But he's their top scorer with 12. And now it's going to be a goal kick then to West Ham. Madeley and Giles. Bonds again sticking close and doing a good job on Mick Jones. Now Hurst in the air, but Hunter getting to it first. Bonds. Now Jones coming back to tackle Billy Bonds. And Jones, in fact, flicking it wide there for Lorimer. Clark is off. Got three West Ham defenders surging around him, but he finds now Peter Lorimer. Inside for Johnny Giles. And Hunter coming up fast to drive it. Oh, and what a goal! What a goal by Norman Hunter! What a fabulous goal by Hunter. His first goal of the season, and my goodness, they don't come better than that. Putting Leeds 2 into the lead. No wonder he's looking so pleased with himself. suppose it's a test too of the West Ham crowd to see whether they stick behind this West Ham side as they try to make something of this. It's certainly a tremendous test for West Ham coming up now. Hurst to Lindsay. It won't go through to Hurst, who really is the main trump in this West Ham side. They really haven't been able to give him quite the service that he warrants. He's had so few chances to show what he can do because the service to him has been fairly meagre. And Hunter and Hurst, of course, two members of the England party, old chums, except on these sort of occasions. And I think Hurst would have been proud to have had a goal like that one. Lampard. Brooking. And Lindsay. Redknapp. Brooking again. And Redknapp once more. Across there for a header, and down goes Sprague from Eustace. Certainly very surprising when Leeds United allow a free header like that in their area. They seem to have got such a grip on this game now. And here's Clark. And Lorimer. Giles to Lorimer again. Searching out Bates. What a good pass and good control by Bates as well. Now Clark. Overhead and Bonds to get it away. Hurst coming hard for it. Brooking to Howe. Almost toying with West Ham at the moment, Leeds United. It's Madeley. Finding each other almost at will, without too much challenge. Jones now to Lorimer, inside for Bates, trying to find Jones again, and there was a good challenge by Bonds, who's really marked his man very well. Bates down injured, and West Ham taking it up now through Redknapp. Lampard. And a throw to Leeds United. With a quarter of an hour to go, Leeds 2 up. Tommy Taylor. Back to Peter Grodier. Lorimer. And Reaney. Bates. Giles. Oh, Brooking, fighting and fighting and fighting and winning eventually a free kick for West Ham. Eustace trying to play it wide for McDowell, a collision there between McDowell and Madeley, but now it's Redknapp to Billy Bonds. Lindsay, a little flick up over his own head. And Cooper finally getting it away, but only as far as Redknapp with a chance to cross it there. Hurst going in on it and Jack Charlton to get it away. Lindsay once more. Good play there by Lindsay, and a fair-looking cross there. Hurst, Eustace there, a goal! No, not given, not given. He's disallowed it, he's disallowed it. There's a boy on the pitch, and really he ought to get off. There really is no sense on youngsters running on. Whether it was a goal or not, Eustace heading it past Sprague, but disallowed. And one or two things I noticed being hurled at Gary Sprague from behind that goal. Looked rather like apple cores or something. Now Eustace. And the throw going to West Ham. Billy Bonds. Oh, he put that straight to the path of Mick Jones. Played first time by Bates for Clark. And Brooking now. Good solid tackling there from Tommy Taylor. Taylor again. Brooking. Well, that disallowed goal may have given West Ham the feel of things a little bit, but there's still so much for them to do. There's Eustace going in again with a header, and this time it is a goal! This time it is a goal! By Peter Eustace. And that does open it up again with 11 minutes to go. Reaching nicely for that one with his head to tuck it firmly wide of Gerry's freak. So now can West Ham do it? 11 minutes left. Against one of the best defences from a club side in Europe. A side that is used to taking punishment and pressure. And probably will take some now, but here's Giles going through, and West Ham a little lucky there that cannoned off Tommy Taylor, because I'm not sure that it wouldn't have screwed wide of Peter Brodia. But it's given them a bit of renewed hope. And I suppose West Ham fans everywhere are saying if only that first goal hadn't been disallowed, we'd have been level by now. But there's time enough for West Ham to fight for that equaliser. But first they face this little crisis as Lorimer takes this corner for Leeds. To the far side there. Still not away. Clark. Taylor getting it away. Giles. Cooper. And Jones playing it back for Clark. Now Hunter. The spirit soaring back into West Ham's play now. And the crowd getting behind them again. Some tugging of the shirts there by Lorimer on McDowell. Free kick to West Ham. And again he's trying to steal a yard or two. Finding Bonds. New spring in the West Ham stride and a new urgency about them. Howe. They made a complete mess of that, Bobby Howe. Lampard with a throw. Well, they kept that in well, Leeds United. Taylor hustling Jones off the ball. Back with Brotia. Redknapp. Cooper closing in on him. McDowell. Hurst played off nicely there for Redknapp. Getting Hunter in a tangle, but Hunter recovering well for Leeds. Hunter seemed to be going about 3 different directions at once there, but he certainly blocked it well. Now Hurst. Redknapp going in hard and beating Cooper's tackle. Hurst again to cross it. And this time Bobby Howe getting there with his head. And Brooking! Oh, he's equalised! Oh, he's equalised! Trevor Brooking! Well, that's a marvellous comeback by West Ham. Brooking's header finally doing it. For West Ham, and the substitute for Leeds is on. Jones is going off. There he goes. Rod Belford is on. What a comeback by West Ham. There's Rod Belford, a man who scored 3 goals for Leeds this season. But now the pendulum has swung away from Leeds United back towards West Ham. 2-2. There's Taylor. Down he goes. It looked as though he threw himself, and in fact the free kick is given to Leeds United. So much relieved Ron Greenwood. You never know what's going to happen in football. So Leeds United's free kick, low and hard, and a header across that goal. And now Bobby Moore must be happy as well. But his teammates have made such a stirring comeback. Six minutes to go. Lampard. Belford, a big fella. Hurst getting up well. And now Hunter. And Hunter again. And now Mick Bates. Good play by Bonds. What a tremendous game Billy Bonds has had at the back for West Ham this afternoon. Lorimer. And Bonds again. Lorimer high into that area. Giles is there. And so is McDowell. Cooper to turn it back once more. And Taylor this time to get it away as far as Lorimer. Now Bates. High into that area again. And once more Billy Bonds is there. Lampard to get it away. Once more to Bates. Oh, and now Lorimer. Oh! It's there by Belford. It's there by Belford. So a great comeback by West Ham is silenced as Leeds themselves make a great comeback. And Belford closes in quickly after Grotier got a hand to it. And puts Leeds ahead again. So now West Ham must do it all again. But that's the calibre of Leeds United. And that's why they are so proudly on top of the First Division. A side that can take those swift blows and then come back and make it count again. Hurst. And Howe missing his kick. Looking for Hurst again in a corner. Corner to West Ham. Everybody going up as we have 5 minutes to go. Taylor there, Bonds there, and Howe with the corner. And now Redback driving it through and away off the body of Bates. Now Bonds turning it once more. Eustace looking for it in the air. And a free kick given against Eustace for Leeds United. Eustace, who sparked off this West Ham recovery with a goal. And there it goes, it's all over. Victory for Leeds United after a tremendous fight back by West Ham. Goals by Peter Eustace that set West Ham on the way. And there's Bobby Howe also. In fact, it was Eustace and Brooking who scored the 2 West Ham goals. Hunter and Belford and Giles who scored the 3 for Leeds United. So a tremendous match at Upton Park, but still problems for West Ham. And the final score here is West Ham United 2, Leeds 3.
So in the end then, a heartbreaking defeat for West Ham, although I suppose, to be brutally frank, you could say that their tremendous spirit never quite matched up to the superior skills of Leeds United. And somebody who was brutally frank about West Ham afterwards was Jack Charlton when I spoke to him. I asked him how worried Leeds had been by West Ham.
Not at all. In fact, I thought it crossed my mind about 10 minutes to go that this was probably one of the worst West Ham displays I'd seen. We expected a bit more from them.
In what way was it bad in your eyes?
Well, they didn't do, we heard they did a great deal of chasing at Arsenal last week and fighting for the ball. We expected a lot more of this than in fact we got. But then we got it in the last 10 minutes to some extent.
What about your performance today, the Leeds performance?
Thought Johnny Giles was great. Different class, John. Norman Hunt has got 2 goals, in fact. One was a deflection one, but his right-footed one was brilliant. Beautiful goal. The performance of the team, I thought we won it comfortably, even though we did nearly give it away in the last few minutes.
I'm surprised that you're so hard on West Ham.
Well, you can only be sympathetic so far. You know, it's a First Division, and we need to win draws or losers are no good to us. We've no time for sympathy from anybody at the bottom. We've got to trample over them if we can and get the points. You know, we haven't got time for sympathy. Nobody has any sympathy on us.
So, apart from the last 10 minutes, the worst West Ham display we'd seen, Leeds United won comfortably. The views of Jack Charlton. I must say, West Ham supporters all around me yesterday were full of questions, and the uppermost one, of course, was what is going on at this club? Jimmy Hill.
Well, in fact, a lot is going wrong with the club at the moment. There's no doubt about it. Ron Greenwood has gambled his life, his managerial life, on taking a stand. A lot of people, a lot of fans think he's taken the wrong stand and would like to see him go. They made that very clear to me yesterday, and they said their views are never expressed. Here they are expressed today. A lot of you, some of you, want Ron Greenwood to go. From my experience of football, and it's pretty extensive, I reckon that Ron Greenwood has taken the best decision in his life. He's taken hold of the club, and that I think he means to manage. And although, unfortunately, this time, what happened was that they met Arsenal in the middle of the crisis and then Leeds United at their brilliant best, I still think that the fight and the challenge he's got into that side will see them free from relegation at the end of the season.
But what is the future for Bobby Moore and Jimmy Greaves?
Well, if I were Ron Greenwood, and I'm not, and I can't predict what he would do, I would sell Bobby Moore if the right kind of offer come along. I think that would be good for Bobby Moore. I think it would be good for West Ham. I think it would be good for Ron Greenwood, because I think Bobby would need a fresh challenge, and I think the money could be used to strengthen that team. But Ron Greenwood must make his own decision on that. But one thing I'm quite sure about, that if Moore and Greaves come back into that West Ham team, they will be expected to fight as hard as every player in that team fought yesterday.
All right, a lot of fight, but what are the shortcomings in the present side?
Well, the biggest shortcoming yesterday was nerves, without any doubt. The players can feel they're in the middle of a crisis. Young Jimmy Lindsay, I felt so sorry for him because he could hardly put a foot right for the first half an hour. In fact, we shall see later that he did do something quite valuable in the game, although people were thinking he couldn't. But the reason he goes on making mistakes, that lad, is because he's got the guts to keep running into position and make them. He is inexperienced, and I think at this time it'll be good to get him out of the side for his own sake and for West Ham's sake. I think Billy Bonds, of course, showing great spirit. I'm looking forward to the time when he can come back at right back and they can fill in the middle, get Stevenson back. That kind of thing will make the side look that much better. But the things I like to see that were right yesterday, Harry Redknapp tackling like mad, without any question, a different player. He enjoyed the game, the crowd enjoyed it. Now that's a result of the new spirit at West Ham. It's marvellous at a time like this when you're out of luck how nothing will go for you. Just look at this disallowed goal now. There's the Redknapp cross. A marvellous flick from Jeff Hurst. Now you decide whether Eustace fouls Jackie Charlton. You see Jackie is still getting up in the air. He's not been held down. And Eustace behind him heads it in the back of the net. That was a disallowed goal yesterday that would have made the score if it had been allowed 3-3. That was West Ham's luck yesterday. I know what I thought about it. I thought that was as good a goal as I've seen this season, or as fair a goal. But that's the way it runs. And it ran badly also with Leeds goals. Although they looked like a team from another planet to start with, this was the way that they got the ball in the net for the first time. One could criticise West Ham for not getting two men out there and leaving Giles to get as close as that from a corner. But just look how it happened. There's the shot. Grotier behind Hunter in perfect line to save the ball, off Hunter's back, and shoots inside Grotier. That was the first goal, and that's how it came about. A bit of luck for Leeds and a very bit of bad luck for West Ham. Now let's look at the second one. Norman Hunter last scored a goal like this with his right foot because he's as left-footed as they come, way back in Madrid for England. He'd been resting it ever since, but why did he have to pull this shot out yesterday against West Ham? But what a shot it was. People who say players are one-footed and accuse Hunter of being one-footed want to take another look at that one. That really was a superb piece of football. And lastly, along came a substitute, Belfit. Jones has gone off. There's the deflection that goes through here to Lorimer. Now watch what happens now. The ball rolls just in his path perfectly for number 12, who wasn't on the pitch, to score the goal. I'm not making excuses for West Ham. I think that they fought well yesterday and hard, but Leeds United looked in a different class. But I am happy about the future of West Ham. I think that Ron Greenwood has got hold of the club by the scruff of the neck and will be a manager in the future.
The views of Jimmy Hill. One other point, in fact, to cheer West Ham fans, I suppose. I was looking through the home fixtures they've got to come this season. There are 9 of them, and only one of those 9 is against a team outside the first 8 in the First Division. So let's hope that West Ham pick up the points. That's where they'll want to pick them up, in any case, at home. Let's take some more action now, and it comes from Portman Road in Ipswich. Ipswich Town against Derby County, where the pictures come from Anglia Television. Our commentator out there at Ipswich is Gerry Harrison, and Derby County are the team in the white shirts.
Up goes Baxter and Clark. Collard and Peter Morris. Robertson's gone off the field and he's out of touch at the moment. McFarlane getting away. Collard. Another corner. Well, that had goal written all over it until it was deflected. And he's lucky to see that one go over the top. Corner number 4 then to Ipswich. Jimmy Robertson again. Mick Hill. Bill Baxter coming towards the near post. Hill coming up with Bolton. Hill getting a good header. Did it go in? What a fine header from Hill. And Robson gets it away, and Derby suddenly breaking away. Hill really believing that was in. It must have been so close. But the danger at the other end now, with John O'Hare on it. Archie Gemmell delaying and being fouled. And Phil John visibly upset by the decision that the referee didn't give up the other end. But it wasn't his to give, it was a linesman. But Dave Mackay, quite dangerous in these situations. Tried to bend it, and Laurie Civil not able to hold it. Another good clearance. But here's Robertson doing so much work here. Up goes Hill. Hennessy judging it better. Now Ron Webster looking for Hector, and it's a good ball and good running by Hector. Webster again. O'Hare's the man up front this time. But again trying to find Hector. But Hector doing a lot of good running in strange directions up around the penalty area. Mick McNeil again. Out comes Bolton. Oh, he misjudged it! And Hennessy getting it off the line. Bad with the play by the goalkeeper, but rescued by the experience of Hennessy. Well, he must have died 100 deaths when he saw his goalkeeper miss that one. But the game...
Derby scored their winner in the second half.
Hammond here, leaving it to Robertson. Now Robertson with a chance to cross one. In comes Clark. Now McMills. What a good shot. And what a fine save. John Robson, the fullback. Too strong for Baxter. In comes Hector. Oh, Hector with a chance here. Sets it up for O'Hare. Well, you can't miss those, particularly not John O'Hare, but a bad error at the back by Ipswich. And Kevin Hector and O'Hare make them pay for it.
So 1-0 it finished to Derby County. Now it's time to have a look at some of your letters, and the first one concerns that controversy that surrounded the goal by Alan Gowling that gave Manchester United victory over Chelsea last week. Hundreds of you, of course, claim that Alan Gowling's goal did not fully cross the Chelsea line before it was hooked away by Peter Benetti. But as Jimmy, I think, said last week, you could look at that until the cows come home and never really come to a firm conclusion. But also a lot of you claimed that Alex Stepney, when he punched it clear for Alan Gowling, in fact was way out of the penalty area when he punched it, and in fact that it should have been a free kick to Chelsea. Among those who thought so was Stephen Jardine of Newton Woods of Northern Ireland, G.R. Oswald of London E4, Robert Carey of Bexhill, among others. What you've got to decide is when Stepney actually punches the ball, there he is, quite clearly inside the penalty area. The fact that he falls outside the penalty area doesn't really matter at all. So it was a fair punch-out by Alex Stepney. Let's enjoy again now this tremendous goal, this brave running, shrugging off tackles by Alan Gowling, and look again at this devastating moment for Peter Benetti and for Chelsea. But as Jimmy said, and as we say again, you could look at that again and again and not come really to a firm conclusion. I can only say that when I saw it actually happen there at Chelsea, my first reaction was that it was a goal, and so in fact did the linesman and referee. Well, now, following our showing of that superb Gowling goal, Mr. P. Wood of Bricket Wood, St Albans, thought that another goal scored last week was quite as good as Gowling's, and it was one in Stoke's victory at Newcastle, and it was scored by Harry Burrows. We showed it to you in On the Ball yesterday, but have a look at it again now.
The Stoke City defenders well and truly equal to these tactics. Burrows taking it from Bernard. Good bit of work by Burrows. He really is a slippery customer and very clever at that. For Conroy, and back beautifully for Burrows. Lovely work by him, and a good goal.
Well, a fine goal indeed it was, but now something for all you Arsenal fans who might well need a little bit of cheering up after that disappointing penalty decision and defeat at Huddersfield yesterday, and it's in particular for Susan Kanzik of London N1. She says George Armstrong is the best winger in the country and should be considered for the England squad. Could we see a goal from George? Well, it's one he scored against Lazio of Rome in the Fairs Cup, and as a bonus for all you Arsenal fans, we'll show you also the goal that John Radford scored in that match.
Whistler falling at the feet of Story, but Story getting it back again. Radford going in. Oh, it's there by Radford. Yes, with it. Radford trying to flick it on. Armstrong. There it is. Number 2 by George Armstrong.
There's something there to make all Arsenal fans just a little bit happier this weekend, I hope. Well, our next match, though, and it comes from the Midlands. Nottingham Forest, fellow strugglers, of course, to West Ham towards the foot of the First Division, but they got their second successive win when they beat Newcastle United yesterday at the City Ground in Nottingham, where the commentator's Hugh Johns, the pictures come from ATV, and Nottingham Forest are the team in the dark shirts.
Moncur, Clark inside. Pop Robson, faced by O'Kane. Oh, Red Chapman took that ball out well. As Lyons in support here. Winfield from behind for Ian Moore. Clark playing tight on Ian Moore, not giving him room to turn. Lyons did well. Lyons now for Jackson. Searching for Rees. Rees faced by Clark. Has the legs of him. And Clark very quickly made up for that quick burst by knocking Rees back. Free kick given, of course. Ronnie Rees with it, a two-man wall. Foggen's in there, along with Clark. Hindley up, and a chance for Moore. That'll do. Ian Moore scores the first goal of the game. 5 minutes gone. A terrible tangle then in the Newcastle defence. 1-0. Winfield wanted to take a quick free kick, but Dyson still not 10 yards from the ball, preventing it. So Winfield hitting the long one. Cormac going in. Good goalkeeping then by McFall. Cormac. Ronnie Rees doing a fair bit of jersey pulling. The linesman, in fact, has given the foul against Tommy Gibb. One of those occasions that I feel that 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Number 10 then in Ronnie Rees. And this could be awkward. No, it's got to be taken again. The referee says no. Everybody having a fair old punch up on the far post. But the referee says, I didn't tell you to kick that ball. So do you mind take it again? So what does Rees do this time with the free kick? Cormac! No, it's Ian Moore. Ian Moore. What a neat little goal. Ian Moore then scoring his second goal of the game. 2-0 to Forest. Bob Robson having to come very deep to look for activity.
And Nottingham Forest held on in the second half.
Aaron Toft, even deeper. Now Clark. It's Craig. Foggen. Aaron Toft. Encore. Aaron Toft again. Well, they're keeping possession, although they're not making very much ground, Newcastle. Moncur. In with a shot. Oh, and that wasn't a bad one. That's an easy goal for Aaron Toft. No, it isn't. It's Robson. What a cracking shot that was from Moncur. And Pop Robson just getting on the end of things to halve Forest's lead. It's now 2-1 to Nottingham Forest. This is Forest's third corner in this half. The last two haven't really produced very much. Let's see what this one does. Ronnie Rees with it. And that's more. Oh, what a beautifully controlled try then by Ian Moore.
So a valuable victory for Nottingham Forest. Next week, of course, a big cup tie week, and the big one in London must be Chelsea against Manchester City. Chelsea really shatteringly defeated 3-0 by Everton yesterday. How much is that going to affect their performance against Manchester City?
Well, like me, I think they're going to put that out of their mind and think rather of the wonderful way in which they played in the cup replay against Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge in the first half. That was superb football. I reckon they're going to produce that on Saturday afternoon, shock Malcolm Allison and Manchester City, and make it a happy Saturday night for Chelsea fans.
Certainly that's one match we shall reflect in a special cup tie edition of On the Ball next Saturday lunchtime. The big match, of course, next Sunday afternoon. And for viewers in the London weekend television area, a new start time for the next couple of weeks, 2:25 in London for the big match next week. We leave you with the goal by Trevor Brooking, that gave West Ham so much hope yesterday.
Redknapp going in hard and beating Cooper's tackle. Hurst again to cross it. And this time Bobby Howe getting there with his head. And Brooking! Oh, he's equalised! Oh, he's equalised! Trevor Brooking!
But West Ham lost. But whether you're losing or whether you're winning, there's always tension in football, as Leeds showed in one moment yesterday.
His body there to good advantage for West Ham, and Eustace right up there, and Cooper and Redknapp! Oh, right on the blind side of